All right here in the studio, we have here Ezekwe Chidubem, of course, a very familiar face, a public affairs analyst with us this morning. Good morning, Chidubem.
Good morning.
All right, before now, he was really hitting hard on someone, but that's by the way. We have a new face here, talking about Engineer Gozie Obijeku, who is an entrepreneur and also a former aspirant of the Idemili South State constituency. Is here with us this morning, probably to bring an entrepreneurial aspect to some of the headlines we'll be having this morning. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Good morning.
All right. So let's quickly, let's quickly begin to look at the headlines we have right here this morning. All right. I will go to the ABS website where we have Anambra Assembly Speaker, there's an optimistic Soludo will win governorship election. We also have Anambra Guber, police commence to training exercise for personnel. We also have Anambra governorship election, Accord Party debunks endorsing the APC candidate Okachukwu. We also have an Anambra governorship election, PSC, that's the Police Service Commission, I believe, deploys monitoring personnel. We also have Apostle Elenzo inaugurated as Commandant, United Nations Nigeria Chaplaincy Corps. We also have federal government initiates reforms in transport sector. Portuguese authorities intercept narco sub, arrest 4 suspects. And we have Chinese court sentences 5 top members of Myanmar mafia to death. So the major headlines right there on the ABS website this morning. So Ezekwe, I know you're very much interested with the APC thing, the ADC debunking that they are not endorsing the APC, or rather the Accord Party.
Well, they are debunking. God. It's laughable actually for me. Though everybody has the right to contest, every party has the right to field the candidate. But I have said it 3 times on this show, I think. Every person knows that Professor Charles Chukwuma Soludo has it already. It's clear. It's audible to the deaf and visible to the blind. It's clear. So debunking, no debunking. Okay, this is the first time since 2013, I think, that there was no, even 2010, there was some kind of debate between Obi and Ngige. At least though it was not official. But this is the first time in how many years that there was no official governorship debate. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no official governorship debate.
It's probably because the governor didn't feel like there should be.
Not really about about that thing. Not really about it
he
from
didn't
that
give the
angle.
room to actually have debates and all that.
It's the function of the other candidates to do that. If at all they were actually interested in doing
So
that.
they were supposed to put pressure on the government, on Soludo, to actually have.
No, not that. The stuff I'm saying is like inviting media houses to come and organize debate. 2021 was done by Arise. 2017 was done by Channels. 2013 was done by Channels. 2010 was done by NTA and AIT. This year, nobody's saying anything, which is why the governor decided to do a media rally to explain. No, it is done. Like the Yoruba people will say, Otilo,
it's
done.
All right. Engineer Gozie, you were one time an aspirant of the Anambra State House of Assembly. Let's look at that headline: Anambra Assembly Speaker Udeze optimistic Soludo will win governorship election. So your take on that?
I was once an aspirant. In election, even if you are contesting, there will be a certain time you know whether your opponent is going to win you.
Oh, it's
whether you are leading or whether you are not leading.
a psychological thing.
It's a thing of the mind, and it's a reality. Like the speaker, Anambra is just, if you see the works under administration of Soludo, you see Anambra is just on top of working on itself. So for a speaker has, because he's the head of.
What do you mean by working on itself? Is it that things are getting better or things are retrogressing?
Getting better, moving on. It's just working on as if there's a platform set already for the progress of the state. from all facets, every aspect of the government is working. That's why the endorsement is. In fact, I've never seen this kind of endorsement ever, even from other parties. And just like my own constituency, so many parties have even decided to work for after government. But before everyone will be contesting. So there's a saying that is feeling that governor is going to win. Even people that walk on the street knows. Say that.
But we're still seeing a number of persons campaigning. Yesterday, I saw one of the, I think around the main market in Oka, I saw some of the, I think the Blue and White Party, I'm trying to remember the name. You know, he was really very confident, you know, going around Oka, trying to actually sensitize the people.
Jeff Mweke.
People. I don't know his name. So, but
from the AAC, so that Blue and White.
Probably. So we've seen people, you know, still canvassing, believing that somehow Soludo has not gotten it right. We've seen the, I think the AAC too. We've seen a number of them. Women also coming out, brandishing manifestos and all that. So you think these things are very much irrelevant?
Based on ideology of parties, you have to fulfill righteousness. You cannot just stop campaigning, especially the candidates.
So you're saying these people are just playing to the gallery? They should actually pack up and just...
No, they can't just do that, but they know who is the leader.
And you're saying it's going to be a ride in the park for the Abga?
Yeah, it's very easy. So they have to fulfill their righteousness. Till when the time comes, they can even, we are still on the campaign, maybe on the 9 minutes, maybe still Wednesday, Thursday, they can even still collapse their structures. So there's still time.
All right, so you feel there's no room for other parties winning at all, coming close?
I don't see it as it can happen from what is happening in the States.
From what is happening in the States. So that's kudos to Governor Soludo. All right, let's begin to look at the tabloids we have with us this morning. We'll go to the Punch newspaper where we'll have the major headlines there, or the banner headline there. A 15% tariff, Nigerians to pay 1 trillion naira extra for petrol yearly. That's coming from January 2025. And the kicker to that, fuel marketers oppose petrol price increase. Otedola backs Tinubu's 15% tariff amid inflation concerns. And then we have Tinubu's 15% import tariff marks bold step towards 1 trillion naira, $1 trillion economy coming from the man Otedola. Wike kicks as Oyo court lifts PDP convention ban, and that's on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. NNPC has 20% stake in Dangote refinery, and that's on page 30. Also have Lagos policemen treated us like criminals, says tech worker. That's a lot. Senate receives Tinubu's request for 1.15 trillion naira loan. That's another loan. All right, it's on page 30 of the Punch newspaper this morning. We'll move to the Vanguard this morning where we'll have Trump. Why we reject U.S. threat on Nigeria. This is coming from China. And the kicker to that, U.S. lawmakers blast Trump, says threatening military action against Nigeria responsible, reckless. Religious extremists plotting to divide Nigeria coming from federal government as they raise alarm. Insists no genocide against Christians. Senate to discuss Trump's comments with executive arm. We also have genocide claim divisive, dangerous for regions cohesion coming from ECOWAS, and that's on page 27 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Still on the Vanguard, we have Obaseki carpets. Okpewolo denies 600 billion naira debt and others. Troops kill Boko Haram terrorists during attack on military base in Boronu. We also have on the Vanguard, Nigeria-US diplomatic crisis, blame APC's foreign policy, coming from Benga Hashim, and the kicker to that calls for post-Tinubu national security and foreign policy architecture. We also have DSS dismisses 115 personnel. That's a lot. So some of these people are going to go jobless. Strike. We've met ASU's demand coming from the federal government. Our court clears PDP to hold national convention in Ibadan. Our party petitions IGP over alleged violent takeover of secretariat. Alleged terrorism, I have no case to answer. Let me go. Coming from the man, Nnamdi Kanu. Top banks record 4.1 trillion naira profit in 9 months. All right, so we move away from the Punch newspaper, not the Punch, but the Vanguard, to the Daily Independent, where we have the major headlines there. Again, Tinubu asked Senate to okay fresh 1.15 trillion naira loan, and the kicker to that, nominates Enugu Attorney General Ude as minister, and appoints John Wabwe as a tax ombudsman. Senate leadership divided over Trump's threat to Nigeria. And then we have Nigeria's insecurity fight stifled by disunity, says ex-army chief. And kickers to that, worried insecurity worsening despite increased allocation, says America does not protect anybody's interest. We also have court clears PDP to hold national convention in Ibadan. AI adoption, Nigeria's insurance industry may cut jobs by half. ECOWAS says acts of terrorism do not constitute genocide. Lagos Street Fair complex probe sparks tough war in reps. Senate launches full-scale probe of Buhari-era railway project. DSS dismisses 115 personnel in clean sweep. We also have Shetima heads for 30th United Nations Climate Change Summit in Brazil. And that's on page 7 of the Daily Independent newspaper this morning. All right, let's begin to look at some of the headlines across these 3 newspapers this morning. Talking about the Punch newspaper, we'll have about 15% tariff that's on petrol. You know, this is basically what everyone actually does consume. Then the Trump issue to designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And then we also have right on the Independent. Anyone striking us?
I would take the one of Donald Trump. I'll take the one of Trump. First, many Nigerians went into jubilation, Christians specifically, most of them. They were jubilating because U.S. president, U.S.'s own Donald Trump, issued a statement that Christians are being killed. Fantastic. I didn't find it funny at all as a citizen. I didn't find it funny. Let me look at it from many angles. One, the United States as a nation has never started and finished any war completely. I give you an example. They went into Afghanistan. You saw what happened with the Taliban. Donald Trump, when he was contesting, confessed that that was the most embarrassing moment of the United States military. They came to Libya. They could not oust Muammar Gaddafi. What did they do? Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, and the rest, they decided to gang up the citizens of Libya. The Benghazi uproar and the hula baloo, and it started and the whole thing died. Libya is still paying the price. 20th October 2011, war begun February 2011. They are still paying the price. They also threatened Venezuela. If you see the reason why they were threatening Venezuela, you know that there is actually a problem. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts. Whenever a Westerner, a white man, tells me as an African man that I am fine, I'll begin to check myself. I'll run away from there. There is something you have that you may not know. As fantastic as it sounds, look at the faults from that particular statement by Donald Trump. I am a fan of Donald Trump. I remain his excellent aficionado. But that particular comment, I disagree with it. It can create a serious religious uproar in Nigeria. You would say that there's already religious uproar.
You do not think there's already a serious religious uproar?
That's what I'm about to say.
Looking at you know, the happenings in the
That's what I'm about to say.
Northern part of the country and also in the middle belt part of the country. Where having lots of they may not be Christians, but people being killed.
Yes.
And most of these attacks are being perpetrated by people who you know, make statements that are very much you know, connected to the Islamic sect.
Yes.
The Allah Akbar, you know, when people are killed. And you also, when these things are being you know, communicated to people of you know, the religion Islam, they tend to be on the defensive side, always saying that no, the religion is a religion of peace. But when you look at the hadith, and you know, most of the countries they've been majority, you see contradictions.
Yes. All right. I would answer it this way. We all know that there is some kind of unrest. There is that issue of Christian, Muslim. The biggest problem of Nigeria, aside corruption that is inside one WhatsApp group of its own, is tribalism and religion. Where you see the Muslim ticket as a 2023. But Nigerians forget that 1993, Mushood Kashimawo Alawale Abiola's election, it was a Muslim ticket. And people voted massively for it.
You do not think the problem may not be about the Muslim ticket, but the fact that as of this year, reports have it that at least 7,000 Christians. Let's remove the fact that they are Christians, because when we talk about Christians or talk about religion, people may begin to say, oh, because you're trying to be emotional about it. But 7,000 persons killed alone in 2025. Is that not a number that should actually concern an average Nigerian?
That is the reason I am saying what I'm saying. Like, you have not allowed me to land.
Okay.
If, yes, you don't need to be a Christian or maybe a Muslim. You don't even need to be an atheist to feel the pain of losing citizens, loss of life. But yes, it's happening. It is bad. It is very, very nonsensical. But the actual thing I will not take from anybody is trying to politicize it, trying to bend it to look as if it's white or to look as if it's black.
You think
you
think it's not politics already?
It's pure politics. Now, okay, all right. Now let me tell you the reason why it's happening. Any person who is seeing what is going on will realize that where they are headed is 2027.
How?
Let me take you back to 2013, 2014. We had President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan. Some people, delegations after the NNPP, the CPC, ANPP, a faction of ABGA, a faction of PDP, and ACN came together to form the APC. Most of them gathered. They went to see President Obama after Obama came to Nigeria here.
And the person who actually did this is actually the current president of the Federal Republic.
That's exactly what I'm trying to explain.
Let's not stay on that for long.
Yes.
All right. So let's move to the 15% tariff on petroleum. Engineer Gozie, you're an entrepreneur. You're a business person, and your fellow business person, talking about the man Otedola, who has been trending in recent times, seem to actually support this action by the federal government to actually add tariff, talking about 15% on petroleum products. You do not think this is actually going to affect the average Nigerian? You do not think it is also going to affect the average business in Nigeria? Because even now, I miss the fact that they say, oh, it's okay and all that. An average Nigerian is already complaining, because it's basically affecting everything: transport, everything, product, services.
Thank you very much. I will start by saying that Otedola is a businessman. Any businessman, and Otedola and Dangote, they are friends. There is no way, as far as there is increments in tariff, that will affect the price and the cost of the materials. So there's no way it's not going to affect Nigerian citizens. Because if there is an increase 15%, inflation will come up. So many things will come up. School fees. Because the major source of Nigerian income is petroleum products. So anything that are doing that is affecting the petroleum product will affect everything in general as far as the country is concerned.
So is it a good one? It's
a no-no. Because we don't have it's going to create a monopoly.
What do you mean by monopoly?
We have only functional private refinery, which is Dangote.
Is that Dangote's fault that he has the only refinery that is working?
Because of some, if you think well, something leads to it.
Something like?
There must be I don't know how to sell it, because some people call it about. But I don't use that, I like to use that word. All those things lead to it, because Nigeria have never had the intention on a very, the thing just come up. But on a normal, Nigeria have never decided to take such. When you take that kind of decision, it favors only people. And because of the major importation, there is a comparative prices, or there is competition. So when there is competition, there will be stability of prices. The way you create a monopoly in any business,
it crushes.
business has crushed. And it will affect the general public. Instead of one person or two or more will be getting more than the others. It's advantageous.
All right, let's move to some other newspapers this morning, talking about the Disney newspaper, where we have Dick Cheney, powerful ex-US VP who pushed for Iraq war, dies at 84 years. We also have Ibadan Court approves conduct of PDP convention, orders INEC to monitor. And a kicker to that, we have parties BOT wades into leadership crisis, youth leaders pledge support for new chair, Damagum, other NWC members, rights electoral body, IGP. And we also have China rejects planned US military action. EU says it stands by Nigeria. Idris assures inconsistent narrative view will be handled with utmost seriousness to Trump. State-backed religious prosecution impossible under Constitution. Afenifere Trump threats aimed at forcing Tinubu to negotiate what? That's the question. In search of effective training of security agencies, probably that's happening in Enugu. Tinubu seeks Senate approval for fresh 1.15 trillion domestic loan to fund 2025 budget deficit. All right, moving away from this day newspaper, we have the Guardian newspaper, where we have Senate probes rail derailment as new loans contract debt cost tear. That's on page 6. We also have Dan Bazal blames police for Boko Haram insurgency. And that's on page 9, right there, the Guardian newspaper. We also have Tinubu declares emergency in police training institutions. Natasha immigration differ on passport seizure. Oh, that's Natasha Poti complaining that she wasn't allowed to leave the country. Trump's threat. EU, ECOWAS, China back Nigeria as Senate moves to liaise with the federal government. Court gives Kanu till tomorrow to defend terrorism charges or waive right. And we also have Senate probes real derailment as new loans contract debt costs stare. All right, then we'll move to the Daily Trust, where we'll have misinformation behind US-Nigeria tension coming from experts. Allies declare support. Women kidnaps self to extort money from husband. Tinubu seeks NAS approval 1.5 trillion naira loan. Eurobond remains stable amidst Trump's threat. Court OK's PDP convention BOT meets today. And then, so these are almost similar stories across, but I find it quite bemusing that somebody will kidnap herself to extort money from the husband. So I find it quite really funny. All right, let's look at again. Probably, I want to take this from probably an entrepreneurial perspective. Engineer Guze, China, Europe, that's EU, supporting Nigeria, saying Nigeria cannot be invaded by the United States of America. Should we even call this an invasion?
Yeah. Like my brother said earlier, anywhere is a great gift. Sometimes it doesn't work. It made mention of Libya, Venezuela. You know, I will say the Americans, even British that colonize us, they don't like to go where there's no profit. Anything they are offering you, try to check 2 or 3 times before you collect. Because anything that is not going to favor them, they don't go there. So what we are going to be talking about, Nigeria is a very big nation, which is the biggest black race in the whole Africa. So what we are going to do, we need to be very careful on whatever thing we are going to accept from them. But there is no way it's not going to affect our economy. If there is anything like that broke out, maybe a war or anything, it's going to, we are going back to square one. So I don't think we need to eye before we do. That's my conclusion.
To add something to it, If the United States really wants to help, the language they should use is, we want to assist you people. They should come under the umbrella, under the apparatus of, we want to assist you people. You don't say you want to invade. It is not done anywhere.
They never said they were going to invade.
That is the meaning of the statement. Read the statement and read it by the pretext and post-text. That's the meaning of what they are saying. That they want to do this and they want to do this and they want to do this. What they should be doing is, okay, we want to assist. This is how, let's see what we can do. We want to help people. Let's see how we are going to do it. We must be very careful with this kind of thing.
Well, probably some may say there have been a lot of talks about cooperation within military, even in ECOWAS and all that, but it has not yielded results. The Nigerian government have struggled to actually carry out let's say a protective. In fact, at a point, a report came out to say the Nigerian military was basically complicit. Stories saying that the military goes to some of these places to disarm innocent civilians, and after they do this, these terrorists come to attack them or something like that. So lots of reports about that.
Yeah.
Lots of talks about infiltration on the part of the Nigerian military. A whole lot of negative reports on how badly the Nigerian government and military have failed to, or rather have struggled to actually protect these victims and all that. So you think probably the US didn't look at this and say, oh, you guys may not be getting tracked.
Like you said, stories. Stories, there is truth, there is falsity in it. But the angle from where I'm actually coming from is, do not say, oh, that I have seen an ant that is feeding on my yam, and because you want to send away the ants that is feeding your yam, you now bring a goat that is going to be eating it in larger quantities. That is what I'm saying, though. I'm not denying that there are killings. Of course there are killings. I don't have to be a Christian or a Muslim.
So how best should we go about the killings?
What they should say is, we want to assist you people as a nation. You don't come here and tell us that if they don't do this, you take action, you do this and take this and take this. It's not done anywhere. What they should, and one of the very salient points here is this. Everybody in Nigeria, or I would say most people in Nigeria, are pretending not to know that the United States is aware of the Islamic bodies or the bodies that are funding the terrorism in Nigeria. Number one, they know. They cannot deny they don't know. Number two, Nigeria, being a Muslim ticket, run as the presidency of the nation, is going to be a very wonderful collateral that is going to be at the table if there should be a negotiation that is still obfuscatory in our eyes. And Nigeria is going to serve as a very wonderful collateral damage location if eventually they should go by that deal. I say to Fiapa, I say no.
Right, let's
support Nigeria, assist us. Don't tell us how we should go about it.
Right,
I don't want that.
Let's talk about deals. You're just talking about deals. 1.5 trillion naira loan to be taken again.
Okay, if you look at the other side, where there's one place where they said that the Senate wants to probe Buhari's rail project. There's one place that we saw that news. Like I said weeks ago, I don't have a problem with loan. Look, if you're going to take loan, the reason behind the loan is what actually matters. Yes, because the United States right now is owing $20 trillion or so. That's what they owe. But they have a very, very sustainable economy. If you look at the economy ratio of Nigeria, that's the rising economy of Nigeria, you will see that as at this year, that Nigeria is rising by 3%. 3% to 5%, higher than United States that is rising by 1.8%. Those are the problems. Let it get down to the common man. Let the populace, the ragtag and the bobtails feel the effects of these things. I don't have a problem with borrowing though. As far as you are borrowing for the right cause, as far as you are borrowing to have something that is going to replenish that thing that you are borrowing.
So what I'm trying to say is that you're hypertensive about the fact that they are going to actually, the Nigerian government is going to borrow more money.
No, I am not.
Okay, you're concerned.
Yes. I am very, very concerned because I always want, if you're saying that you want to take a loan to complete a project, complete the project. Make sure that everything goes according to plan. That is my own.
All right, Engineer Goze, you're a business person, so you're very conversant with loans. Probably you've taken a number of loans and also you should be more positioned to tell us about about loans and all that. 1.5 trillion naira loans again amidst the series of loans these governments have taken, the most by any government ever in Nigeria.
And in terms of loan, there's no businessman that doesn't take loan. But what do you do with the loan? What do you have on ground to service the loan? You cannot have maybe a business of 20 million. I want to go and take a loan of 150 million. You cannot service that loan. It's going to be very difficult. You must have something. Everything before you take something, before you loan, you make sure that loan you are taking is going to you. After that, you are going to make profit. You don't take loan to eat.
Okay, you think the government, they've not been able to, make proper use of these loans?
I did not say so.
But you feel?
But I'm advising.
Okay, more like a suggestion, encouraging them.
Even if they want to take the loan, if you say this is going for the roads construction, if you say this is for rail, if you say this is for education, this is for anything, let it go according to that and make sure that those things you are going to put that loan based on how many years of repayment and interest rate is sustainable to it.
So if you're giving suggestion of this, are you trying to say that the loans they've been taking, they may not have been able to properly channel it to what they communicated they were going to do with these loans?
All of them, to me, is not properly used.
Oh, all right. So let's. You want to say something?
Yes. This case about the convention of PDP at Ibadan.
Oh, okay.
I keep looking at PDP and I smile. I shake my head at what I will call the carcass that is left of the PDP. Opposition parties are not supposed to be exhibiting arrogance and ignorance. You are supposed to put your house in order. Look at what the president said. I will not tell you to put your house in order. I will not advise you or help you to do that either. But it is such a pleasure to see you in such disarray. Look at the PDP. There is the gang of the FCT minister, which I strongly believe is the authentic PDP. While there's also the gang of the governor for your state. After everything they have said, look at the governor of Bayelsa State. I will not go to the gutters. I won't do this. I won't do this. Now he has joined APC. After saying, Wike is the person spoiling the party, he is working for APC. The same APC, you have gone there. What is happening to the PDP is that so many governors feel that they are now overfunded. So many governors feel that they now have humongous allocation and they now have Pantagruelian funding, that they can do anything that they can do and they can share anything they want to share. The best thing to do now to the PDP is start from the scratch, rebuild the party. Because from what I'm seeing, they have fixed 15th and 16th of November. I don't see the convention coming to pass. It will come to pass because there is court order and counter court order, joinder and rejoinder, litigation and counter litigation. It won't happen. Why? Because the corruptions of the past have come back to haunt them. The lies they have told themselves in the past has come back to haunt them. When you look at these things, you understand that if they don't do these things right, 2026, there's going to be election in Ekiti State. There's going to be election in Osun State. I think Edo too is upcoming. I think Edo, no. Soon. Yeah. I don't think they are going to have candidates. 2027 too, I don't think they are going to have a presidential candidate because they have destroyed everything. When the APC was formed, when they were the opposition, you saw the way they did their thing. They were not going up and down, They are being selfish. The same thing is happening to the members of the ADC. They are lying to themselves. There is no polling unit online. There is no polling unit on Facebook. There is no polling unit on Telegram, on IG, on WhatsApp, on X. Go out there and do the thing. You cannot go to fight a wrestler with pen and paper. You cannot go to fight a boxer with Bible, with Tiwa there. Go there. I'm not even telling you to go and do what they are doing. But there are means you must devise. I'm going to give you an example with Osun State. After the election, they went to tribunal, the first. APC won.
No problem.
Yes. And they went back. And Governor Adeleke was thinking, what happened? He called his nephew, that's a popular singer. He called the video. What are we going to do? They read the law. Look at what the law says. If you want to prove that you won an election, tell us how many votes you got and how many votes were removed, if at all there were any. Tell us how many votes the person who was declared winner scored and how many votes that was added to his own, if at all there were any. Get certified true copies and witnesses from each place. As each place is going, get true copies from that place. And the video went down. People went down with them and they were getting one by one. When they got to the court on the second time, they won. On the third time, they won. At the Supreme Court, they won. That is wisdom. You don't come on Facebook and you are shouting, we occupy everywhere, we make everywhere. Nonsense. They will just be there laughing at you. The same thing happened in Abia State's case. The same thing happened in Abia State when they brought up the case. Pastor Alex Oti. He already had the experience. 2015, he spent how many years in court? 2019 election, he spent how many years in court?
Right.
He now prepared himself very well. Once it was time for his case, he presented plenty copies. Judge was like, oh, I'm overwhelmed. This is one away that day.
All right. Let's also move to the Tribune, Nigerian Tribune, where we have, we were just talking about the PDP, court orders PDP Damagom to proceed with November 15 and 16 convention. That's on page 4. So it's likely the convention will happen. Then key gets to that, direct INEC to attend monitor proceedings, North Central meeting split over resolution to back Damagom. Then we also have Trump's threat, China, EU, ECOWAS back Nigeria. DSS dismisses 115 personnel. CBN to raise 650 billion in first November Treasury bill auction. Police deploy 60,000 security personnel to Anambra election. Court gives Nnamdi Kanu till today to defend terrorism charges. Reps in rowdy session over Lagos Street Fair probe. All right, so we also have on the Authority newspaper, alleged Christian genocide, keep off Nigeria, China wants Trump. Tinubu consults Christian clerics. President is on ruffled, says Information Minister. Then we have FG vows to end ASU strikes. Tinubu nominates Enugu Attorney General, who dare to replace Naji as minister. Tinubu appoints Nwabwe as tax ombudsman. Reps in disarray, clash over probe committee. And then we have civil defense, NAPS 5-man kidnapping syndicates operating along Zaria Kano Expressway. Immigration denies seizing Senator Natasha's passport at airport. $500 million World Bank loan will boost Nigeria's agri sector, says Kiari. Federal government pledges support for nurses, midwives to host Commonwealth conference. So these are the major newspapers we have this morning with us. But I want us to look at two really very, striking developments, talking about Engineer Gozie, you're a business person based in Lagos, the debacle around the trade fair complex. Yeah, lots of talks about that. There seems to be that recent uproar. Basically because that's a business area majorly dominated by people from the Igbo, business people from the Igbo extract. Your takes on that?
I would say that is where my office is.
Oh, all right.
The trade fair complex. Basically, that place is owned by federal government.
Mm-hmm.
Then Igbo, the group, led by Chief Okezibe from Anambra State here. And he's the chairman of board of trustees of the market up to today. Over a time when Lagos Island was not okay because of the place is a residential area and there's no more space to build a market. Negotiated with federal government to have another place, and they were moving to that place. They built a market, which is a very large market. Then inside that market, like as I'm talking today, there's no expansion space again for it to be expanded. Now, but in another issue is that we the Igbos are still our own problem in some areas. Like inside that market, if you have been there, you know, so many places have been sold, which is not under the arrangement of the federal government that owns the place. So I live inside the market, I went to a greenfield areas, and they bought the land, erecting structures.
Where shouldn't be.
Where shouldn't be. Some unapproved. Because we that are living in Lagos, normally sometimes when government say that this is how it's going to be, just like some areas in First Time, which is being brought down recently, instead of us to seek for approval, restricted approvals, we look for moneyless and give them money, and we erect a structure. When the government comes, it will still bounce back on us. But another issue, because it's a two-way thing, some people that are living in their place are thinking that we are taking over their place. But we bought the whole places.
You paid for them.
We paid. We never one day say, okay, we are taking your land. But
it was negotiated.
Negotiated. And we paid heavily. Like you see in that church, one portion of place, 200 million. Which people will pay. Shop rent. The least you can get is almost about 700 to 800,000 per small shop. So, but the main issue is our people are living what majority of what they're supposed to do and what they're not supposed to do. That's why if you see some of those places that is being brought down, some of them is unoccupied, empty halls. So, but I'm not blaming us much because you know Igbos, they always like to invest wherever they are. We like comfort. We are not like other tribes in Nigeria. But what I'm saying in essence is that when things like that is going to come up, if the place at initial time, if the place is not for sale, tell our people that it's not for sale.
But not holding the information.
Come and put it down. Give us basic information. Let us know where.
All right, give businessmen basic information about a place so that they do not invest and at the end of the day lose their investment. So thank you both for joining us this morning. I really appreciate your presence as always. Very robust guy talking about Nzekwe, and you, Engineer Gozie. Thank you for joining us this morning. You really gave us an entrepreneurial perspective to some of these headlines right here on the newspaper headlines this morning. The Good Morning Anambra.